Sorry, got disconnected.
Vatsala, can we play the video? Vatsala? Thank you, Vatsala. So that was a small video about Dr. Kiran Bedi, her journey so far. Before we start with the session today at 5:30, I hope you all went through the guidelines that I have shared. But I still would like to take you through the guidelines uh, so that we follow and adhere to the instructions very strictly today. First, would you please keep your microphone on mute? This will help us to have a clear video audio experience for everyone. Uh, Towards the end of the session, we would have 5 minutes of open forum where you can ask your questions, and please ensure that your questions are not of political context. Third thing would be that if you want to exit the session, please do it silently without typing anything in the chat window, and use your official name for logging in. And at the end of the session, as discussed, as said earlier, we will be playing the national anthem. So ensure that you stand at ease when we play the national anthem. So these are few of the guidelines that you need to keep in mind during the session, so that we have a smooth session for everyone and a enriching experience. So we will wait for Kiran ma'am to join us, and till then we can all be on mute.
We have a good attendance today.
Yeah, I think we can play the video again. Vatsala, can you play the video again?
Ashmeet,
Yes?
audible?
Yes, Isha.
Yes. My questions here.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, ma'am. Uh, we welcome you to our organization, Cuba Consulting. It's an honor that you are with us today to share your experiences with us and your journey with us. Uh, we would like to brief about your journey with everyone before we start with the session. And as we all know, good evening, everyone. As we all know, that today we have a very special guest, an icon, performer, a reformer, and inspiration to many, Dr. Kiran Bedi, the one who truly defines strength. And that's the best thing about her. Uh, to introduce her, I will just take you through her journey so far, and then we can start on the program with her. Born in tennis playing family from Amritsar in 1949 to Prakash and Prem Lata Peshwarya, Dr. Kiran Bedi is second of their four daughters. While still in school, she became a junior national tennis champion at the age of 16 and Asian tennis champion at the age of 22 and was ranked India's number one of her time. Dr. Kiran Bedi is the first woman in India to have joined the officer ranks of Indian Police Service in 1972, and she served it for 35 years. Dr. Bedi is also the first woman to be appointed as police advisor to Secretary General in United Nations in the Department of Peacemaking Operations in New York. She is the recipient of the Ramon Magsaysay Award, also called Asia's Nobel Peace Award, for bringing about a positive relationship between police and the people. Dr. Bedi is a law graduate, master's, and a PhD scholar with postdoctoral Nehru Fellowship. She is the author of several books such as I Dare, It's Always Possible, Creating Leadership, and more. She has a biopic on her life called Yes, Madam Sir, made by an Australian filmmaker, and a recent documentary on her life was featured in Nat Geo's Mega Icons. She's also running two NGOs. One is India Vision Foundation, and the next is Navjyoti India Foundation, which reaches out to marginalized sections of society in education, in skills development, in urban slums, and rural areas, including prisons. From 2016 to Feb 2021, Dr. Kiran Bedi was appointed as the Lieutenant Governor of Puducherry. Her model of leadership and governance has been of true service to the people and has contributed largely to their welfare and prosperity. She has her presence represents a transformational identity, one that comprises a blend of reform, riddance from unnecessary obligations, and humility. From restructuring the Tihar jail to Tihar ashram, to reforming the Raj Nivas to Seva Nivas, reformation has been a hallmark of Dr. Kiran Ma'am, model of leadership. Ma'am, on behalf of Team Acura Consulting, we would like to congratulate you on being presented the Baton of Honor and an appreciation letter from a President of India as the recognition for your services in Puducherry. Kiran
Thank
ma'am,
you.
we welcome you and we truly appreciate that you took out time from your busy schedule to address us.
Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you.
Can
Thank
we
you
have
so
a
much.
round of applause?
Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
ma'am.
So grateful. Okay. I want to thank Sunny Nandwani, your founder and managing partner at AccuWorld Consulting, for inviting me. Thank you so much, Sunny.
Thank you, ma'am. It's our honor to host you.
Thank you, Sunny. And I want to thank Ashmeet for connecting with me. You connected
Thank
me
you,
on the
ma'am.
WhatsApp
Yes,
call. That's all.
yes, ma'am.
फोन किया मैसेज दिया था कि फोन किया था
मैम मैसेज किया था, फोन का वेट कर रही थी.
फिर क्या हुआ
आपने कॉल नहीं करा.
फिर
फिर ईशा ने कॉल करा. फिर ईशा से बात हुई. बट मैम हमारा कॉल पेंडिंग है.
सो स्वीट ऑफ यू बट देखो कितना अच्छा हुआ कि इतने शॉर्ट नोटिस पे किसी तरीके से हाउ टेक्नोलॉजी has narrowed all the delays, and we could meet like this so well. And
Yes,
I'm
ma'am.
so happy to meet Sunny Nandwani. He's a Delhiite, and he lived in an area which I patrolled as a police officer.
Yeah.
मैंने वहाँ आपके एरिया में बड़ी नाइट पेट्रोलिंग की है चोरों को आपको बचाने के लिए.
Yeah, ma'am. You have been ensuring we are safe and we can focus.
Yeah. एंड आपके एरिया के पीछे वो सरस्वती विहार, वो जारा पीतमपुरा सारा खाली होता था. उस एरिया में खासकर मैं पेट्रोलिंग करती थी आपको बचाने के लिए.
Yeah, ma'am.
अब तो वो रोहिणी, see all that area was absolutely like a jungle when I was patrolling that area. See थोड़ी अपनी अपनी एक लाइफ टाइम में कितनी चेंजेस इंसान देखता है.
Right,
Thank
ma'am.
you once again for inviting me. I've noticed that in such a short time, you've all done exceedingly well and established yourselves so well, and that too continue to grow and expand. I pray that you continue to grow and expand and continue to do well and
Thank you.
earn a very great name for yourself and for the country as a whole. May you
Thank
all
you.
succeed and continue to prosper. So what are your questions, Ashmi? Now, are you beginning with straightaway questions, or do I begin with something to say?
Ma'am, we would really want to hear something from you before we start with the questions. Everyone has been eagerly waiting.
What is it that you would like me to say from my personal growth or from professional life? What is it that you like as an opening statement? What is the area you want me to focus on?
So, ma'am, let me put it as a question for you. I had planned to ask this question, so I'll put that as a question for you. So, what to know from you is, ma'am, can you share us few memories from your childhood and early life, and what inspired you to become an IPS officer?
Look, I have grown up with a clarity in mind. I grew up as one of the 4 daughters of my parents, and I would say my parents were far ahead of their time. उन दिनों में ओपन डाउरी सिस्टम होते थे. लड़कियों की शादी ओपन डाउरी सिस्टम में होती थी, जहां डिस्प्ले किया जाता था कितना चांदी सोना वो ला रही है. तब फ्रिज टेलीविजन नहीं होते थे, तो क्या मर्फी का रेडियो है कि बुश का रेडियो है, फिलिप्स का रेडियो है, और चांदी के कितने बर्तन है, और सास ससुराल को कितने साड़ियां. और आई ग्रू अप एट दैट टाइम, सो माय पेरेंट्स वर वेरी हेड ऑफ द टाइम. तब वो हम लोगों को, गर्ल्स को, डॉटर्स को टेनिस खिलाते थे. माय फादर वाज अ टेनिस प्लेयर, एंड वो रोज टेनिस खेलते थे. हम गर्ल्स, बाकी गर्ल्स बेचारी मम्मी डैडी के साथ स्टिचिंग टेलरिंग सीखती थी, हमको टेनिस खिलाते थे. सो आई हैव ग्रोन अप with a great blessing through the positive attitude of my parents. और हमें वो डाउरी की शिकायत जगह रखते थे शादी के लिए, दिखाने के लिए कि जो बच्चे पढ़ते नहीं है ऐसे होता है. तो हमको वो दिखाते थे कि जो बच्चे नहीं पढ़ेंगे मम्मी डैडी को इतना कुछ देना पड़ता है शादी करके. तो हमारे डर लगता था कि मेरे मम्मी डैडी को ऐसा ना करना पड़े. सो हम लोग खूब पढ़ते थे. सो आई वाज शोन व्हाट इट इज if a woman is not economically independent. So I was ahead of my time. I was very fond of studies. I was a great tennis player of my time. I started international competitions from the age of 14, and I used to come from Amritsar. हम अमृतसर में रहते थे, और parents की landed property थी, so my father didn't have to wait for a livelihood. It was a landed, large joint family. So my father was part of the, but joint family का फायदे भी है तो नुकसान भी. My grandfather was a very feudal lord. वो सोचते थे लड़कियों को पढ़ाने की जरूरत नहीं है, जब इतनी प्रॉपर्टी है तो देकर शादी कर सकते हैं. तो मेरे फादर से बड़े नाराज थे कि वो लड़कियों को क्यों पढ़ा रहा है. तो मेरे फादर objected and he actually defied his father कि आप पापा जी मुझे नहीं बता सकते मेरी बेटियों को मैंने कैसे बड़ा करना है. So my father he stood out of the rest of the family and sent us to the most expensive school of that time in Amritsar, called the Sacred Heart School, Amritsar. We were the only family in Amritsar who was playing tennis at that time, those days, and went to the best school. So my livelihood was to grow up to be somebody. I was not being brought up to be ordinary, who would be lost in the society. No, my parents had a dream and a vision. और वो मेरे पेरेंट्स अपनी ड्रीम हमारे से शेयर करते थे. My father was a great reader and mummy was a very bright student. Mama was also very fond of education. तो मेरी फैमिली में दो स्ट्रीम्स बड़ी स्ट्रांगली आई. एक मेरे मदर से पढ़ाई और डैडी से टेनिस स्पोर्ट्स. सो मेरी जिंदगी में दो चीज मैक्सिमम आई, पढ़ते जाओ और खेलते जाओ, और तीसरी चीज हमारी लाइफ में थी नहीं. सो आई वाज ऑलमोस्ट बीइंग ग्रूम्ड एंड आई हैड एन ऑप्शन क्योंकि आई वाज गुड इन स्टडीज. सो आई रिसीव्ड अ स्कॉलरशिप फ्रॉम मॉन्ट्रियल यूनिवर्सिटी इन McGill to come and do my masters in post graduation because my elder sister went to America, Canada, but I refused to go. I wanted to stay back in India, be with my parents and work for my government. I wanted to be a government servant. I wanted to be a government official. तो छोटी उम्र से मेरे मन में था कि एक दिन मैं डिस्ट्रिक्ट कलेक्टर बनूंगी. तो मेरे मम्मी डैडी दिखाते होते थे कि देखो सरला गरेवाल फर्स्ट कलेक्टर ऑफ इंडिया, फीमेल कलेक्टर, तुम ऐसे बनोगे. So my parents were showing me what it is to be a deputy commissioner. That's a different thing. I became a deputy commissioner of police. Now police angle ऐसे बना क्योंकि I was a very strong NCC cadet. तो मैं कॉलेज में खेलती भी थी, NCC भी करती थी, हेड गर्ल भी थी, कॉलेज. So I had grown in leadership qualities also. मैं अपनी लाइफ में छोटी उम्र में कोई दिन नहीं याद है जो मैंने वेस्ट किया. मैं खूब एंजॉय करती थी, खूब खेलती. I was bestowed with very good health. So my memories are of very positive growth, खूब पढ़ना, खूब खेलना, घर में बहुत प्यार और सुख था. So I chose the Indian Police Service as a first preference when I sat for the Union Public Service Examination, because I also saw that अगर किसी ने देश की सेवा खूब अच्छी करनी है तो एज अ पुलिस ऑफिसर मैं करूंगी, क्योंकि मैंने देखा था कि पुलिस ऑफिसर से लोग सब डरते हैं. डरते करने की जरूरत नहीं है. वो सेवा करेगा तो प्यार करेंगे, उसकी इज्जत करेंगे लोग. एंड उसके पास पावर ऑफ लॉ है, वेयर बाय लॉ ही कैन डिलीवर जस्टिस. I got attracted to uniform a lot because of the NCC. For 4 years, I was the best cadet student. So my growth was full of energy, full of leadership qualities, full of hard work, full of nationalism, full of commitment, and it was service oriented. Right? And also very focused कि मुझे ये करना है. So जब मैं नेशनल टेनिस प्लेयर भी बन गई, एशियन टेनिस चैंपियनशिप भी मैंने 1972 में जीती. I still preferred not to continue with my tennis, but continue with my Union Public Service UPSC exam. And this is how I qualified for the Indian Police. I did not know जब मैंने join की that I'm going to be the first woman in India to become an IPS officer. मेरे से पहले कोई किसी ने join की नहीं. और अगर किसी ने कहा भी तो उसको गवर्नमेंट ने मना करा दिया कि नहीं, इट्स वेरी टफ, यू नीड नॉट बी. उन्होंने मेरे साथ भी कोशिश की कि टू कॉल मी व्हेन आई जॉइंड एंड आई क्वालिफाइड एंड आई जॉइंड द पुलिस, द इंडियन एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव एकेडमी ऑफ मसूरी. मुझे बुलाया गया गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया ने. मिस्टर केसी पंत होम मिनिस्टर थे, तो उन्होंने मुझे बुलाया और कहा कि डू यू अंडरस्टैंड, डू किरण यू नो. बट ही न्यू मी एज अ टेनिस प्लेयर, क्योंकि मैं अमृतसर से जब दिल्ली आती थी तो केसी पंत एज अ होम मिनिस्टर मुझे प्राइजेस देते होते थे टेनिस चैंपियनशिप्स के. तब मैं दिल्ली में खेलने आती थी अमृतसर से. आई यूज्ड टू ट्रैवल टू दिल्ली टू compete here in the national tournaments. So KC Pant knew me. So when we met each other, he said, I know you will not change your mind because you are already a tennis, you know what you want. But I want to ask you if you would like to change your preference, because the other services are also you qualified. I said, no, I have only IPS. I want to be a police officer. What I'm trying to say, Ashmit, is I knew what I wanted from the young age. I knew I wanted to serve in India. I knew I wanted to be an officer of the government, and that I will serve on my terms. So I was a clear-headed goal in economically independent. This was my, I will not किसी को मैं depend नहीं करूंगी. मैं दूसरों के काम आऊंगी हमेशा, rather than कोई मुझे उनकी जरूरत पड़े, मैं उनकी काम कर सकूं. I think this is the spirit with which I grew, and this spirit was part of my upbringing.
I think that's really great, Kiran ma'am, to hear your story. The confidence that you have showed since the beginning, since your childhood, I think it's very important for every child to have that confidence in themselves. And I think it comes from your upbringing, from your parents, the way they make you move ahead in life, and the confidence that they give that कि हम life में कुछ भी कर सकते हैं. So I think that's very important, Kiran ma'am. Uh, Ma'am, we have few questions. Few of employees, they would want to know few things from us, from you. From the time they have come to know कि Kiran ma'am आ रही है, they have been, very happy, and they've been excited to, share some of their questions, and understand from you what do you feel and what are your responses against that. So can we go ahead with it?
Please go ahead.
Oh, yeah. Thanks, ma'am. So, Gopu, would you like to share your question with ma'am?
Sure, Rashmi. Thank you so much. Kiran ma'am, it's an absolute honor that you're here. We're going to relish the time, cherish the time that you're sharing with us forever, and the insights, the knowledge, and the ideas that you will share with us will stay with us forever in shaping our lives and career. Thank you so much for being here. The question that I have is about stress. We in IT industry, we do complain about stress, and rightfully so. We have responsibilities, we have pressure coming from many directions about work commitments, deliveries, and etc. But when we look at it holistically, the kind of responsibilities that you had and the kind of pressure that you may have had gone through, and even right now, you may have so many responsibilities, and the kind of responsibilities that you have and the pressure that comes with it, that completely eclipses the kind of responsibilities and pressure that we are dealing with. So any tips around how to handle pressure would really help. How to handle such a pressure or stress would really help us in shaping us.
Can I call you Gopu?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
All right, go ahead. It's a nice name. Thank you, Gopu.
Thank you, ma'am.
I would think, Gopu, of course, I've gone through a lot of pressure. There are always pressure of deadlines. There's always a pressure of performance. There's also pressure of results. There's also the X factor कि अब क्या होगा. I think मेरी लाइफ में अब मैं अपने एक्सपीरियंस से बता सकती हूँ क्योंकि हर एक की लाइफ डिफरेंट होती है. आपका प्राइवेट सेक्टर है, आपका मेरा पब्लिक सेक्टर था. आपकी अपने चैलेंजेस हैं प्राइवेट सेक्टर में, लेकिन स्ट्रेस कब आता है? यू नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड योरसेल्फ. आई थिंक इफ यू ग्रो अप नोइंग योरसेल्फ, मैनेजिंग योरसेल्फ, अंडरस्टैंडिंग योरसेल्फ, आई थिंक इट मेक्स लाइफ इजियर. क्योंकि लाइफ के चैलेंजेस तो आएंगे ही आएंगे. एज इट सेड, कोई भी लाइफ फ्लैट रोड नहीं होता है. वैलीज भी आती हैं, माउंटेन्स भी आते हैं, डेजर्ट्स भी आते हैं. ये तो लाइफ का चलने का है, क्योंकि घर में कोई प्रॉब्लम आएगी, आपके रिलेटिव्स में आएगी, फ्रेंड्स में आएगी, आपके एम्प्लॉइज में आएगी. These are X factors. These are in the variables which you have to be prepared for, because these will come. These will come. I cannot say कभी आएंगे नहीं तो कभी नहीं. सब कोई 2 दिन भी बराबर नहीं होते. I think the response is in your hands. It's the balancing is in your hands. How do you groom yourself? बहुत important है कि हम अपनी ग्रोथ कैसे करें, अपने आप को कैसे सिचुएशंस में रिस्पॉन्ड करें. As I said, the response is in your hands. How you respond to certain situations, and you have to pick up the signs of early deviations. कब ये कहाँ एक चीज बिल्ड अप हो रही है. Early prevention is important. मेरी लाइफ में मैंने अर्ली प्रिवेंशन की थ्योरी काफी सीखी है, प्रैक्टिस की है. अर्ली पिकअप साइंस. डोंट फर्स्ट ऑफ अपने लिए प्रॉब्लम क्रिएट मत करो. कई बार हम लोग अपनी प्रॉब्लम खुद भी क्रिएट करते हैं और सोचते कुछ नहीं होगा, तो हम फिर अपना स्ट्रेस खुद क्रिएट करते हैं. लेकिन अगर हम अपने पहले मिनिमाइज करें, अपने आप को अलर्ट रखें, अवेयरनेस, अलर्ट से भी बेटर है अवेयर, बिकॉज अलर्टनेस मीन्स स्ट्रेस, अवेयरनेस मीन्स इक्वानिमिटी, मीन्स बैलेंस. अगर हम अपने आप को एक अवेयर लाइफ में जिए तो आपको स्ट्रेस नहीं आएगा, आपको चैलेंज आएगा. आप उसको फिर चैलेंज को कैसे डील करेंगे, बट दैट्स कॉल्स फॉर लॉट ऑफ पर्सनल डेवलपमेंट. हम अपनी लाइफ में पर्सनल डेवलपमेंट पर ध्यान नहीं देते, हम प्रोफेशनल डेवलपमेंट पर ध्यान देते हैं अब और चीजों में, लेकिन पर्सनल डेवलपमेंट के लिए टाइम सैक्रिफाइस करते हैं. दैट इज व्हाई योगा इन लाइफ इज इंपॉर्टेंट. दैट इज व्हाई प्रेयर इज इंपॉर्टेंट. दैट्स व्हाई गुड फैमिली रिलेशनशिप्स इज इंपॉर्टेंट. हम लोग इन चीजों पर, अब देखो कोविड में यही तो सिखाया गया. कोविड में काम क्या चीज आई? जिसके पास तंदुरुस्ती थी वो कामयाब हो गए, जिसके पास मेंटल बैलेंस था वो कामयाब हो गए, जिसके पास अच्छे फैमिली नेटवर्क्स थे वो कामयाब हो गए, जिनके पास अच्छे फ्रेंड्स थे वो कामयाब हो गए। अब ये क्या ओवरनाइट तो नहीं आए, ओवरनाइट तो नहीं आए, दे वर बिल्ट ओवर अ पीरियड। जिनके पास रीडिंग हैबिट्स थी वो कामयाब हो गए, जिनके पास घर में हेल्प करने की आदत थी वो कामयाब हो गए, जिनकी ईटिंग हैबिट्स थी वो कामयाब हो गए, जिनको खर्चा ना कर फालतू करने की आदत नहीं थी कामयाब हो गए, जिनको सेविंग की हैबिट थी। पुरानी हैबिट्स ने कामयाब किया हमको कोविड में। और कोविड में परेशान कौन लोग हुए? जिनको पर्सनल मैनेजमेंट नहीं आती थी और उनमें नेचुरली स्ट्रेस हुआ, हाय अब कल क्या होगा, कल क्या होगा देखेंगे ना। तो इंसान अगर आप पर्सनल डेवलपमेंट पर ध्यान दें रोज, विच मीन्स सेल्फ ऑब्जर्वेशन, माइंड मैनेजमेंट, meditation, prayer, and sports, music, reading, environment, family harmony, gratitude. You see all the soft skills, which in human resource management, you're talking about the emotional quotient. अगर हम अपना इमोशनल क्वेश्चन, हम IQ पर बहुत ध्यान देते हैं कि उससे हमारा सैलरी बढ़ती है, उससे हमारा स्किल बढ़ती है, लेकिन जो इमोशनल स्किल है अगर हम उस पर ध्यान देते हैं तो आप स्ट्रेस पर नहीं होते, आप चैलेंज को मैनेज करते हैं। You don't become enslaved. You don't become a slave to your mind. You remain a master of your mind. I think that is important, and that comes everyday habit. It's like an everyday mental nutrition. जो इंसान अपनी mental nutrition रोज करता है वो स्ट्रेस नहीं है, वो चैलेंज को, तब्दीली को, चेंज मैनेजमेंट बेटर कर सकता है। लेकिन जो इंसान अपना मेंटल बैलेंस खोता है तो चेंज मैनेजमेंट स्ट्रेसफुल हो जाता है। After what is stress? When you're out of a comfort zone and you do not know what's going to happen, you're worried. So I think I would probably answer in long and short is focus on psychological management, your personal management, your awareness. So that is why courses like Art of Living, courses like Isha Foundation, courses like Brahma Kumaris, courses like Patanjali Yogas, these are very, very useful. ये किताबी चीजें नहीं है। अगर हम भी इनको रेगुलरली प्रैक्टिस करें तो जीवन में खूब शांति और संतुष्टता आती है। जब संतुष्टि आती है, कंटेंटमेंट आती है, तो आप कहते हैं हाँ ये भी एक चुनौती आई, मैं इसको सामना करूंगा। तो आप अपने रिएक्शन नहीं करते, एक्शन करते हैं। योर स्ट्रेस इज व्हेन यू रिएक्टिंग। आई वुड से एक्ट रादर देन रिएक्ट। रिएक्शन इज स्ट्रेस, action is good karma, is like being in command and control.
Thank you so much, ma'am. That really is awesome advice, especially from the perspective of managing our mind, right? That is something that is very valuable. Thank you so much.
The stress is all traffic in the mind. You see, I've been a traffic officer. What is stress? Nothing but traffic jam in the mind.
Yes.
So please declutter your mind. Don't we declutter our phones? हम कितना क्लीनिंग अप करते हैं अपनी मेमोरी बचाने के लिए, उसके व्हाट्सएप को क्लीन करते रहते, करते नहीं है?
Yes.
तो व्हाट्सएप को क्लीन करते हैं, what about WhatsApp here?
Yeah, too much of information there. That's true. And self-awareness, like you said, is very, very crucial.
Correct. Just as you declutter your phone, declutter your own mind and be happy with. First of all, शुक्र करो जो है और तरक्की करते जाओ। एक्स्ट्रा करोगे तो मिलेगा ही मिलेगा, वो कुदरत का कानून है। लेकिन चिंता मत करो कब मिलेगा, वो आएगा। जब कुदरत आप काम करेंगे तो आएगा, उसका फल आएगा। लेकिन चिंता करो अभी उतर जाए और अभी मैं खा लूं। डोंट बी इम्पेशेंट, देन you'll see there's no stress. Is a management. You will manage those challenges as they come. So I would say traffic, observe the traffic in your mind and don't crowd it. Don't get accidents into it. Don't let accidents. अपनी traffic cop बनो, अपना traffic cop here. Be a traffic cop here.
Mindfulness, yes. That's that. I understand. Yes. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Ma'am, the next question is from Mr. Sunny Nandwani. Sunny, can you let us know what you would like?
Yeah, thanks, Ashmita. And yes, ma'am. I have seen you, ma'am, being a Delhiite, right? Like you were talking about the parking. That time, I think you transformed the Delhi. In fact, I remember, I don't want to name, but there were a lot of people who got uncomfortable with those parking things, but it helped the common man, Delhiite, how it streamlined, right? And same transformation very close to this Tihar jail. I think you had done revolutionary work there, right? So you have been leading transformations, right? And these are like, you have done transformation where it was very rigid, and then you had a very rigid system, uh, and generally we relate public sector with bureaucracy, and there are a lot of things to take care. So what advice would you give to corporate leaders? How do we transform? Like, what are the things to keep in mind when we are kicking off such a huge transformation? So that is
Sunny,
my
I have a habit. I have a very good habit. I guess it came from my sports days as I was growing up. I never got stuck with the problem. I focused on the solution. And I don't complain. I focus on where's the way out. मेरी सारी लाइफ में पुलिसिंग में मेरे पास कभी साधन कभी पूरे नहीं हुए, गवर्नमेंट में भी कभी पूरे नहीं होते, एज एलजी पांडिचेरी भी मेरे पास साधन पूरे नहीं थे, लेकिन मेरा गोल पूरा था। गोल क्या था कि जिस पर्पस के लिए मैं यहाँ आई हूँ, लेट मी फुलफिल दैट। आई ऑलवेज फाइंड अ पर्पस इन माय डे, आई फाइंड द पर्पस इन माय वर्क, I find the purpose. So when I find the purpose, like for instance, I give you my traffic solution. I give you an example now. And you talked about parking. Do you know what happened? You said I was called as Kiran Bedi. Do you know how I became a Kiran Bedi?
yeah.
When I took over as DCP traffic, सारी दिल्ली में 2 क्रेनें थी, सिर्फ 2 क्रेन्स। और 2 क्रेन जब मैं क्यों कैसे पता चला वो भी 2 है, क्योंकि ट्रैफिक मेरा पर्पस क्या था? मेरा पर्पस था आप लोगों को साफ सुथरा स्मूथ ट्रैफिक मिले, आप आराम से दफ्तर जाए, आराम से घर जाए, जैमों में मत फंसे और ऑब्स्ट्रक्शंस ना हो। सो माय पर्पस वाज सेफ रोड, स्मूथ रोड एंड ट्रैफिक मैनेजमेंट रेगुलेशन। और अगर कोई गलती करता है तो उसको डर होना चाहिए कि मैं पकड़ा जाऊंगा, लेकिन डर वाज लास्ट। फर्स्ट वाज फ्लो, यू मस्ट गो कंफर्टेबली होम एंड कंफर्टेबली, somebody must regulate you. So in the morning, I used to leave home at 8 in the morning, get up at 5 in the morning, clear all my files, and 8 in the morning leave for roads to be on the road as DCP traffic. I was only one DCP traffic for entire Delhi. और मैं सुबह 8 बजे निकलती थी, और ड्राइवर, मुझे दिल्ली नहीं आती थी तब, मैं भी अमृतसर से आई थी, लेकिन मैंने अपने ड्राइवर को बोलना मुझे आज साउथ दिल्ली ले जाओ और मुझे नॉर्थ दिल्ली ले जाओ और कभी ईस्ट दिल्ली ले जाओ, और ताकि मैं सड़कों को भी देखूं, कॉलोनी भी समझती जाऊं। लेकिन जब जब मैं जाती थी, कभी बस गिरी हुई, कभी ट्रक उल्टा हुआ, कभी एक्सीडेंट से रोड बड़ा, लोग बेचारे डाइवर्ट होके घूम के तंग हो रहे। तो मैंने अपने स्टाफ को पूछा, ये ऑब्स्ट्रक्शंस को करेगा, रिमूव कौन करेगा? बोले मैडम क्रेन करेगी। तो मैंने कहा अच्छा, तो क्रेन को बुलाओ। तो बोले क्रेन है नहीं। मैंने कहा क्यों? बोले एक क्रेन है, वो तो वर्कशॉप में है, और एक खराब है, पड़ी हुई, तो लाइन में है, तो क्रेन नहीं है। तो मैंने फिर करते क्या है? बोले मैडम इधर उधर से वो क्रेन के जो कॉन्ट्रैक्टर्स हैं उनको बुलाते हैं, वो फिर टाइम लेते हैं, तब तक ट्रैफिक जैम ही रहता है, तो तब हटती है। तो मैंने, दिस वाज अ चैलेंज फॉर मी, दिस इज अ प्रॉब्लम फॉर मी। नाउ विल इट कॉज स्ट्रेस टू मी? विल आई कंप्लेन सरकार को कि मुझे क्रेन चाहिए? जब तक सरकार क्रेन देगी वो तो मेरी दूसरी पोस्टिंग आ जाएगी, क्योंकि इतना टाइम सैंक्शन होते खरीदते, तब तक मैं चली जाऊंगी। तो मेरा सोल्यूशन तो इमीडिएट है ना। तो ना मेरे पास क्रेन अपनी, ना मेरे पास बजट है, तो मैं क्या करूं? तो मैंने इसलिए जब एक शब्द बोला कि मैडम हम कॉन्ट्रैक्टर को बुलाते हैं और कॉन्ट्रैक्टर करते हैं, तब मैं दफ्तर गई तो मैंने पूछा कितने कॉन्ट्रैक्टर हैं दिल्ली में क्रेन वाले? टेल मी हाउ मेनी कॉन्ट्रैक्टर्स? दे सेड 16 कॉन्ट्रैक्टर्स। मैं कहा कितनी क्रेनें हैं? बोले हर एक के पास एक क्रेन तो है। मैं कहा 16 कॉन्ट्रैक्टर्स को बुलाओ मेरे दफ्तर, मुझे उनसे मीटिंग करनी है। तो आई हेल्ड अ मीटिंग विद द कॉन्ट्रैक्टर्स। I was only 32 years old at that time. See, and I was so young in service. I had no experience of traffic management, but I was a problem solver. मेरे लिए अगर कोई प्रॉब्लम नजर आई तो मैं प्रॉब्लम लेके घबराती नहीं थी, परेशान नहीं होती थी, शिकायत नहीं करती थी, और लेमेंट नहीं करती थी, और हारती नहीं थी। मैं उसका सोल्यूशन ढूंढने लग जाती थी। तो जब सोल्यूशन ढूंढा तो कॉन्ट्रैक्टर्स जब आए, मैंने उनको बोला लुक, आपके पास एक ही कॉन्ट्रैक्टर, एक मशीन है, एक है, क्रेन है? बोले हाँ जी। मैंने कहा ये आगे से आप ट्रैफिक पुलिस को उधार देंगे, आप भी कमाएंगे, मैं भी चालान करूंगी। अब आगे से आप 16 सर्कल थे ट्रैफिक सर्कल के, सबको मैंने एक एक क्रेन दे दी, एक एक अलॉट कर दी। आप इस इंस्पेक्टर के साथ काम करेंगे, जो ये चालान करेगा उसके पैसे आपको मिलेंगे, आप उसकी रसीद काटेंगे, हम चालान करेंगे, तुम कॉस्ट लोगे क्रेन की, तो आपको बिजनेस भी मिल गया, मेरा काम भी हो गया, उससे मेरी सड़कें साफ होने लगी। आपको पता है हफ्ता भर जब ये सारी 16 क्रेनें 16 सर्कल में घूमने लग गई, ऊपर से माइक लगाया हमने, एंड आई एम अ कम्युनिकेटर, आई बिलीव कि लोगों को मौका मिलना चाहिए समझने का कि हम कौन सी क्या चीज किसके लिए कर रहे हैं। तो मैंने उसके ऊपर माइक्रोफोन लगवाए और माइक्रोफोन पे अनाउंसमेंट कराई ड्राइवर की कि ये गाड़ी को पार्किंग लॉट में ले जाओ वरना क्रेन उठा लेगी। तो मौका देते थे उनको कि आप अपनी नहीं करोगे वी विल फाइन यू। हुआ क्या, कईयों ने हमारी बात सुन ली, कईयों ने नहीं सुनी, देखा क्या करते हैं। तो जब क्रेन उठ के घूमती थी, सब जगह घूमती थी क्रेन गाड़ी उठा के, तो शोर मच गया, क्रेनें आई कहां से, तब मेरा नाम बदल गया। तो ये है क्रेन बेबी। लेकिन मुझे पास, मैंने सरकार का पैसा नहीं खर्चा, मैंने कोई क्रेन नहीं खरीदी, मैंने सिर्फ सभी को फायदा किया, कॉन्ट्रैक्टर को भी बिजनेस मिला, मेरा भी इफेक्टिवनेस बढ़ी, पार्किंग लॉट में भी लोग जाने लगे, और देखो कितने साल के बाद आज आप भी याद कर रहे हैं। इट्स योर डैडी रिमेंबर्ड इट एंड यू रिमेंबर, यू सी सो मेनी इयर्स अगो, इट वाज 1982 की बात कर रहे हो, दिस इज 2021, you're remembering what happened in 1982. My simple solution that I would not stay back with the problem, I will look for a solution, and if I don't have it within me, I have the position to ask. I used to expand my area of influence, और लोगों के लिए मैं मांगती थी, भले के लिए मैं कहती थी कि आप जुड़ो, कोलैबोरेट करो। So this is the spirit which kept growing and growing in my career, even as Lieutenant Governor of Puducherry. I did that same thing for water issues. वो अलग बात है, एक दिन बताऊंगी आपको, लेकिन
I have read about it, man. The way you involved CSR and you solved the water problem.
Yes, that's right, Sunny. I involved all Whirlpool and all those MRFs. वाटर डिप्लीशन हो रही है, आप इस सारी इरिगेशन कैनाल को क्लीन करो ताकि बारिश का पानी इसमें जाए। जब मैं अब वापस आई हूँ, यू वॉन्ट बिलीव इट, 6 मीटर पानी का लेवल पांडिचेरी में बढ़ के छोड़ के आई हूँ, जबकि 6 मीटर रोज गिरता जा रहा था हर हफ्ते, हर महीने, हर साल। वी आर नाउ सरप्लस देयर ओनली बिकॉज ऑफ कॉर्पोरेट सोशल रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी। हमने सभी को डाला, और जो भी मेजर वाटर कंज्यूमर थे, हमने कहा यू कॉम्पनसेट and now you do, and that was called the water rich Puducherry, हमारा concept बना था। So what I'm saying is that as leaders we need to, when we travel around in our work, anytime you find a problem, you find a issue which can be improved, when you start focusing on how can you change it, that's when transformation happens, because the word you used was how do you transform. So you transform, it begins with the trigger, where you see an obstacle, where you see a challenge, you see a problem, or you see a issue. Okay?
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Yes, I think that would surely help us in the pitfalls to come, how to look forward. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, I have a small request for you. Can we extend the session by 5-10 minutes?
Yes, go ahead.
Questions बहुत सारे हैं and time we have little less, so if we can extend it by next 10-15 minutes, will that be fine?
अभी 5 मिनट, फिर अब 10 मिनट, अब now इसे 15 मिनट।
Okay, 10 minutes. मैम क्या करें अब, बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है, we cannot just let you go so early.
You're most welcome, go ahead.
Yeah, so ma'am, the next question would be from Gaurav. Gaurav, can you ask your question?
Good evening, ma'am. And I'm really exhilarated that I got an opportunity to speak to you today. So my question is on a lighter note, and of course, when you quoted the 1982 incident, and I've been brought up hearing your stories, the heroics that you did in 1982 by my grandfather. So, and in many ways, I consider you as my role model, and I am sure many of us would consider you as our role model. So my question is, whom did you see as your role model growing up?
Look, I was drawing inspiration from all directions. जहां से मुझे अच्छी इंस्पिरेशन मिलती थी, that incident was an inspiration, a book was an inspiration, a film was an inspiration. जहां से मुझे अच्छाई मिलती थी, it used to attract me. So I think I was not limited to one person or one situation, but I was getting inspiration from all that. And this is exactly what's happening even now. When I read in the morning, when I see a good film, when I read a good book, when I come across a good quotation, it inspires me. I see a good interview in the YouTube, it inspires me. My days में जब मुझे ये सुबह ये पॉजिटिव खुराक मिल जाती है, I have a spring under my feet. Are my days made? क्योंकि मैं पढ़ती रहती हूँ, सुनती रहती हूँ, खेलती रहती हूँ, देखती रहती हूँ, लर्न करती रहती हूँ. Basically, I'm a student at heart. I want to learn every day. So जो मेरी मॉर्निंग की लर्निंग की खुराक नीड है ना, it gets fulfilled only by drawing, seeing where can I, how do I get mine, and it comes naturally. So I think I'm not limited to one person, but all people who've achieved in life, who've been spiritual, who've been authentic, who've been truthful, who are credible, जो कि इज्जत के लायक है, वो मेरे लिए इंस्पिरेशन.
So soak in all that the universe has to offer and keep learning is the message that you.
Yeah, keep your windows open. You can, even a child's answer is an inspiration. Sometimes you ask a question from a child. कई बारी मैं स्कूल में जाती हूँ, तो अगर बच्चा बहुत बढ़िया जवाब देता है, मेरे लिए तो इंस्पिरेशन है. So if you remain a student and a learner all your life, and you keep looking out and keep your sensitivities open, there are so many sources of inspiration which are coming.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, the next question will be from Nilima. Nilima, would you like to share your question with us?
Sure, Rashmi, thank you. Hello, ma'am. It's such an honor and I'm so excited talking to you. Ma'am, I can correlate with much ahead, बहुत बाद में, but then still we also grew up in like पढ़ोगी नहीं तो शादी करा देंगे. COVID everything. So that was a type thing. And then डर क्यों लगता है, किरण बेदी को देखो. That was a tagline. डरना क्या है, किरण बेदी नहीं सुनी हो. So ma'am, डर तो, from that we learned that don't fear. लेकिन as we grew up, how do you sustain yourself? The emotional, emotionally strong कैसे? How do you keep yourself? Such a challenging environment. If I see your journey, it was always different and it was always tough. How do you keep yourself emotionally strong in this environment?
Nilima, how do you stay healthy every day? Answer my question. How do you stay healthy every day?
Good eating habits, healthy eating habits, and some fitness exercise.
And good sleep.
Yes,
and good relationships. You manage your relationships. You manage your time. But do you have a holiday in this? आज मैं गलत खाना खा लूं, आज मैं सबसे झगड़ा कर लूं, आज मैं नहीं सोऊंगा, कल देखूंगी. Do you do that?
झगड़ा वाला तो हमारा कंट्रोल नहीं है, but other things we don't do.
Okay, कोई बात. But do you have a holiday in good food?
No, ma'am.
Do you have a holiday in good sleep? The point is, there is no holiday in sustaining. What you did right yesterday, you have to repeat it today. That is called sustenance. Sustenance is what you did, what worked for you yesterday, and what was right for you yesterday will be right today. You have to repeat it, but it becomes a habit. Good sleeping habits is a habit. Good eating habits is a habit. Right? Good workout in the morning is a habit. Good speech is a habit. Good management of relationships and communications is a habit. This becomes a habit, and that becomes you as a character. And the character sustains you. It's like when you are small, you're forming habits. When you become big habits form you. So if you're into a habit of these things, right, they sustain you. Now question is, what do you do out of the way? कुछ घर चीज चैलेंज नया झगड़ा आ गया जो आपने नहीं किया क्रिएट, देन आपको वही कैरेक्टर जो है जिसने सीखा हुआ अपना बैलेंस उसको डील करता है. लेकिन अगर आप पहले से एक बंडल ऑफ कंफ्यूजन है और आप हेल्दी भी नहीं है, मेंटली स्टेबल भी नहीं है, क्रैंकिंग है, स्लीपिंग हैबिट्स आर बैड, फूड हैबिट्स आर बैड, तो जब नया क्राइसिस आएगा तो आप तो क्रैक अप कर जाओगे क्योंकि वही सिस्टम आपका है ही नहीं. अगर आपने अपना सिस्टम ठीक रखा हुआ है, यू हैव द एनर्जी, माइंड बॉडी सोल एनर्जी, स्पिरिचुअल एनर्जी, इंटेलिजेंस एनर्जी, इमोशनल एनर्जी, वो आपने नॉर्मल टाइम में उसको ठीक रखा हुआ है तो एबनॉर्मल टाइम पर को डील कर पाओगे. लेकिन अगर अपने आप को एबनॉर्मल रखा हुआ हर चीज में, कई चीजों में, तो एबनॉर्मल सिचुएशन को तो आपको और भी एबनॉर्मल कर देगी. It can be an X factor in the family, it can be a death in the family, a health challenge in the family. How will you deal with it unless you are stable, unless you know how to deal with yourself? और जिंदगी के हर एक में मैंने उतार चढ़ाव आने ही है क्योंकि लाइफ के साथ उतार चढ़ाव बहुत आने हैं. वी हैव टू बी स्टेबल ऑल द टाइम ताकि हम अपने आप को संभाल सके और दूसरों को भी सहारा दे सके. क्योंकि एज वी ग्रो, others are dependent on you, children are dependent on you, parents are dependent on you, just as you were dependent on your parents. Now parents are looking forward to care from you, just as we needed healthy parents as children. Now parents need healthy children when they grow up. So if we are not healthy, how will we handle our families? So you are asking the sustenance question is that हमारे हाथ में एक ही चीज है, वो है अपने आप को रोज के रोज संभालना, सही खाना, सही पहना, सही बर्ताव करना, सही अपने आप को बैलेंस में रखना, पढ़ना, सीखना. जैसे मैंने कहा ना, doing these kinds of good courses and learning of read books, and आज YouTube is full of very good discourses. Listen to them. You will every day get a satsang. अब तो हैबिट करो अच्छा सत्संग YouTube में ढूंढ के. Listen to it while you are bathing, while you are brushing your teeth, while you are cooking, while you are driving. Listen to those. While you do, आपको खुराक मिल गई दिन की, रोज के रोज वो तय जमती जाएगी और आपके पास चैलेंज आएगा तो आपके पास ऑटोमेटिकली एक एटीट्यूड हो जाएगा उसको डील करने के लिए. तो भी अगर आएगा तो अपने आप को जल्दी संभाल पाओगे, क्रैक अप नहीं कर जाओगे, क्रम्बल नहीं कर जाओगे. सो अपने आप को रोज स्ट्रॉन्ग बनाओ. दैट्स सस्टेनेंस. Sustenance does not happen over a period. Sustenance happen अपनी फाउंडेशंस को स्ट्रॉन्ग करते जाओ. पीछे पांडिचेरी में बड़ा जबरदस्त साइक्लोन आया, पिछले साल में जबरदस्त साइक्लोन आया. आपने पढ़ा होगा पांडिचेरी में साइक्लोन प्लानिंग में. डू यू नो कौन सी पेड़ नहीं गिरे? कौन से पेड़ नहीं गिरे? जिनकी फाउंडेशन स्ट्रॉन्ग थी, वो गहरे थे, इतने लंबे भी थे, इतने टॉल भी थे, लेकिन जितने टॉल थे उतने वो नीचे गहरे थे, उनको वो नहीं गिर पाए. लेकिन जो पेड़ नए थे, जिनकी जड़ें स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं थी, वो सब गिर गए, या हेल्दी नहीं, वो गिर गए. लेकिन इतना स्ट्रॉन्ग पाम ट्रीज मैंने खुद अपने घर से देखा. इतने टॉल ट्रीज उतने ही गहरे नीचे थे, उनको कोई नहीं गिरा सका. द पॉइंट इज, व्हाट इज आवर फाउंडेशन? आवर फाउंडेशन इज आवर कैरेक्टर, आवर हैबिट्स, आवर थॉट्स, our knowledge, as I said, वो जो तय जमती रहती, रोज जब अच्छा पढ़ते हो, रोज सुनते हो, तय जमती है. योर लेवल्स, और लेवल के ऊपर लेवल रोज बनता है. जब अच्छा पढ़ते हो एक और तय जमती है, एक और तय, एक और तय. दैट्स कॉल्ड न्यूट्रिशन फॉर योर माइंड. हम लोग खाने की, पेट की न्यूट्रिशन का ऊपर बड़ा ध्यान रखते हैं, माइंड की न्यूट्रिशन पर ध्यान नहीं देते. क्या सोचते हैं, क्या बोलते हैं, क्या सुनते हैं, क्या करते हैं, ये सभी चीजें एक हैबिट होनी चाहिए. तो आप उसको देखो. इसलिए विपश्यना मेडिटेशन भी ऐसा प्रोग्राम्स हैं जो अपने आप को देखने की एक शिक्षा देता है. सो दीज थिंग्स आई थिंक इज अ पार्ट ऑफ द कंपनी मैनेजमेंट कुड बी वेयर यू रिट्रीट फॉर दिस काइंड ऑफ अ सेल्फ रिफ्लेक्शन. Sunny, I think that should be must be part of your HR management. Every person should retreat to do these kinds of courses for a week. आप लोग जाते हो बीच पे, बाली चले गए या फलानी जगह जा रहे, बाली जाओ, लेकिन दूसरी तरफ भी जाओ. So एक तरफ family enjoyment और एक तरफ internal development. I think the spiritual growth with environment enjoyment should go hand in hand. And ideally would be also to go with your spouses, because then it's a family harmony. We will understand each other. Otherwise आप तो कोर्स कराओगे, उन्होंने कोर्स किया नहीं किसी ने, तो वो आपको पोक करेंगे. Keep them along if possible, and then do it as a family program rather than individual program. So some can be individual and some can be family. And even with children, there are children programs, there are family programs. Ideally would be to do it with family harmony if possible.
Definitely, ma'am. We will take care. In fact, at Equiver, when we do team outings, also we involve the whole extended family. Like everyone can bring their family, and we do. But yes, I think we will focus on inner self growth as well.
That's right. Correct. Inner growth.
Thanks, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. I think that was really inspirational. The point which you said about the inner growth. And I think we will also look forward in the organization to how to, inculcate these things in the organization going forward. We have been doing these things, but surely we'll look more into this and look forward to get these kind of programs in the organization for everyone. So, ma'am, in the constraint of time, I'll just want to open the forum for all the employees. We can pick up 2 to 3 questions, and then we will move towards the vote of thanks and end the session by singing a national anthem.
Very nice.
So, anyone?
I'll take that up, Ashmit. Ajay this side.
Okay, Ajay. Sure.
Jai Hind, ma'am.
Jai Hind, Ajay.
Good to see you and be in person. I'm in front of you. When Ashmit was defining about you and she was talking about your accomplishment and laurels, so humanly it doesn't sound possible that anybody could achieve so much in a single life, and that too you have done so much. So I know you've been doing all kind of things, sports, of course, policing, and you've been managing an entire state and a territory. So, ma'am, how do you manage your time, and what shall we do as an individual? So we are, of course, the learners. We just started the beginning and we're very experienced. So if you could give a certain insight of how to manage the time, and which I think is the biggest asset for anyone. So that will be a great help for the entire team.
Ajay, everybody's life's priorities are different. Everybody's responsibilities are different. Everybody's support systems are different. Everybody's capacity is different. Everybody's resources are different. But while all these differences exist, 24 hours are the same for everybody.
Absolutely.
Now the question is, how do you manage those same, your own priorities? You have to evaluate. मेरे लिए लाइफ में आज के लिए इम्पोर्टेंट क्या है, मेरी आज इम्पोर्टेंट क्या है, मेरे लिए आज इम्पोर्टेंट है बच्चे को पढ़ाना. That's my priority. I will spend my time on my educating the child. Finished. आज मेरी प्रायोरिटी अपने मम्मी को हॉस्पिटल ले जाना. That's it. I will manage my time. मेरा मतलब ये है कि जो मुझे आज करना है वो मुझे प्लान करना है और मैं उसको करना है. उसमें मेरी फैमिली रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी भी है, वर्क रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी भी है, फ्रेंड रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी भी है. So I have a planned day. I plan my day according to my own needs. But there's certain things which are, if my day is constant, there are few things don't change. The beginning of my day and the end of the day. The beginning of the day begins with reading and workout. I read and I do my fitness. That is no change unless I have a meeting much earlier. But I'll try and keep my morning workout time because that really nourishes me. ये मेरा टाइम हो गया बिफोर ब्रेकफास्ट, क्योंकि अगर मैंने बिफोर ब्रेकफास्ट ये नहीं किया तो फिर वो रह जाएगा, बिकॉज बाय द टाइम यू ईटन एंड द सिस्टम डज नॉट रिस्पॉन्ड टू योर योगा एक्सरसाइज और व्हाटएवर. एंड एवरीबॉडीज फिटनेस रिजीम इज डिफरेंट. किसी को मॉर्निंग वॉक अच्छा लगता है, किसी को योगा के आसन अच्छे लगते हैं, किसी को एक्सरसाइज जिम में जाना अच्छा लगता है. चूज योर चॉइस. बट इफ यू डू समथिंग इन द मॉर्निंग आफ्टर गेटिंग अप इज अ फिटनेस प्रोग्राम, फिटनेस regime of your choice. It really builds your day. That's time management. Then I have my plans after breakfast. What am I going to do? What are my priorities of the day? मुझे meetings करनी है, या मुझे book reading करनी है, या मुझे लिखना है, या मुझे जाना है, then it's a planned day. But अगर मेरे पास 0 hours है तो मैं रीडिंग करूंगी या मैं किसी के काम आऊंगी या मैं अपनी एनजीओ में जाऊंगी. I plan my day and I have a priorities of the month and I have a priorities of the day. That is what I do. So I command my own. Number 2, I don't accept which does not fit into my day. I have the habit of a very firm habit कि जो मैं चीजें अट्रैक्टिव भी हो, जैसे कहीं आज लंच के लिए आ जाओ, बड़ा अच्छा लंच है, मुझे नहीं खाना है तो मैं नहीं जाऊंगी, मुझे नहीं जाना है, because I don't have the time. मैं नाराजगी नहीं बात है. If it does not fit into my time, however tempting it is, I don't get tempted. I go by my day, what suits me. But it's not a selfish day. It's a day of giving. But I plan my day. So everybody's life is different. Everybody's days and needs are different. Plan your day according to your needs and responsibilities. Don't mix them up. Don't. If you mix them up, then your problem and stress. But if you plan it properly, and then this planning has to be done before the day, not on that day. कल की प्लानिंग सोने से पहले करके सो, और rather हफ्ते की प्लानिंग फ्राइडे को करो. Friday should be your day, the plan for the week. Now you are all professionals. You have your professional plan. So what your day, if it begins with the fitness and you go to work, now what are you going to do on your table, work table, should be a part of the plan. कि मैं forenoon क्या करूँगा, afternoon क्या करूँगा, evening में क्या करूँगा, what will I meet, how do I meet my challenge. So work life may plan. Similarly, your personal relationship, kitna time, how can I share when I go home, how do I share, that's a part of my day habit. It's like a habit where I can enjoy the togetherness. It's a part of your plan. But you may not write it today, 1 hour helping my wife to cook. Ye nahi likhne ki zarurat. It should be a habit.
She would make me do that, ma'am, obviously. She would make me do that. That goes without planning.
Should she make you do that? You should do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Why don't volunteer? Why not volunteer? So what I'm saying is I'm trying to give you basics. I'm not giving you this is what I do. You can't copy me. I can't copy you. We are not here to copy each other. Is the basic thing morning and night. Then at night, try and read something good, something nice to read before. If you can read something, inspire yourself rather than sleep with noise. Sleep with peace, which is something nice to read, which nourishes your mind before you sleep. So it's like, see, it's a morning nourishment, and then the spiritual nourishment or intellectual nourishment really helps. And during the day, you need to have an idea, what's my roadmap of the day? But plan your week. How I plan my day. I have a planner. I don't know whether you all have a planner. You must be having a planner. I'm sure Sunny must be insisting that you all have a planner. But I'll show you my planner, how methodical it is. And this is the planner. This is my planner book of 2021. Even if it's your digital diary होती है, लेकिन इसका ये फायदा है कि आपको सारे month का plan मिलता है. This is how, see, this is the whole March. This is already March. See, it's already planned for the March. You see this?
Yeah, I could see it for the whole month. Is there?
It's already planned. So even if it's a scratch, somewhere this, if you see the scratch or line lagi hai, ये line का भी मतलब है.
Okay.
इस line का मतलब है मैंने सिर्फ उस दिन book लिखनी है, कुछ नहीं लिखना हो, कुछ नहीं करना.
Like this, yeah. This one?
So categorically, yeah, and so explicitly done.
So that means अगर कोई और दिन webinar की request आई तो कह दूंगी नहीं आगे पीछे कर लो वो दिन available नहीं है. See, so this is how if you do this, your time is managed well. But then, and then I also use a pencil and this to write, because I can erase it then. You see this? It's very good to have this kind rather than ink. Use a pencil so you can erase this. But there's a way, digital diary nahi. Maintain this kind of a planner. सारा month पता चल जाता है कि मुझे क्या करना है, मेरा plan, urgencies क्या है. So these are called professional decisions. इसमें ये नहीं लिखा मैंने आज पढ़ना क्या है, सुबह मैंने exercise करनी, ये नहीं लिखा है, वो habit है. Morning, that is a habit. But during the day, after my breakfast, what am I going to do? So this is if you get into these habits, you are a master of your mind. Your time. But if you don't do this, then time will be your master. It will use you the way you want. Kabhi friend aa gaya, kabhi wo aa gaya, plana wo aa gaya. No, no aa gaya. There's a time to meet also. There's a time to chat also. There's a time. So you can even have your social networking time. If you want to have dinner out, have a dinner. It's write down dinner. And then you're out for dinner. So ये नहीं कहो oh मैंने तो वो करना था, ये तो dinner आ गया, अब मैं क्या करूँ? Everything is a design and a plan. However, 1% chance hota hai you accommodate something else. Do that, that's fine. There's always a chance. But by and large, you need to be a master of your time. Rather than time guiding you, you guide your time and use it.
Absolutely, ma'am. That's been so inspiring, and I really got a lot of insights. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Thanks for the answer.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. I think there were a lot of insights on this question. We got to know a lot of things, how to manage our time more efficiently. Ma'am, if time permits, can we take one last question from the audience?
Go ahead.
Yeah. Anyone else who would like to go ahead with the question?
Hi, madam. This is Pratap. So it's a really honor to see you today in our as a guest speaker. So personally, I am a big fan for you. Me and my father also. So I have one small question to ask you. So how did you manage your hard times, like personally and professionally, if it is in like a hard times?
How did I manage my personal and professional life?
Professional life, yeah.
And
In hard times.
In hard times.
In hard times, how did I?
Yeah.
When is not a hard time? I want to ask you.
A hard time in the sense, suppose if you have any like if plan changed suddenly, suppose just now you said no, so you write one plan, suddenly one issue came up. So how did you manage both like personal and professionally?
The plan does not change, but the situation, the timing, priority of that day changes. But that's all. But you focus on the solution rather than complaining on the problem.
Okay.
I've had lots of legal cases which my chief minister in Pondicherry took me to Supreme Court, High Court for so many things. But we managed it by the time, by coming together and reworking our priorities. That's all. But coming together, finding the solutions, dealing with it, and then laughing and enjoying it. After all, इसमें हम कोई crime थोड़ी कर रहे हैं. When you do not have then you do not have anything hidden agenda. What's your problem? When you have only larger cause in mind, you win or lose doesn't matter. Question is, you have to focus on what is right for that time. Focus on that. Similarly, when you have a hard time, focus on what you can do at that time.
Okay.
And plan to the next step. Automatically, when you according to your capability, do the right thing at that time, automatically the next day will take you to the next step. Your intention, if you are only for the good or for the right purpose, your value system is right, and there's no hidden agendas. You see, I had no hidden agenda in any one of my decisions. All my decisions were public good. When the intention is right, the method may change, but the point here is style may change, but your intention is right. Then I have no stress. But I'm not worried about the result. क्योंकि जब result आएगा फिर देखेंगे. अभी मुझे जो करना है वो करना है. So we used to work with wisdom, of course, with maturity, with teamwork, with right legal advice or right kind of support system, whether it's family or if it's friends or if it's peers. It's doing what should be done at that time. The way a doctor, surgeon treats a patient. वो surgeon क्या करता है? जो patient ले जाओ, surgeon क्या करता है? वो examine करता है और वो सोचता है कि अब इस वक्त मैं ये कर सकता हूँ, मैं ये टेस्ट करा लूँ, ये मैं डॉक्टर को स्पेशलिस्ट बुला लूँ, मुझे ये मेडिसिन चाहिए. वो अपने सिस्टम करता है, रोज परेशान नहीं होता है ये क्या हो गया. वो ट्रीट करता है as one more challenge because that is profession. Surgeon's profession is to remove pain and suffering. But he does not worry कि कल क्या होगा, मैं करूँ कि नहीं करूँ. He weighs the pros and cons. My work has also been a surgeon in public life. I treat one situation as a patient at a time and look for my toolkit. Whatever be the toolkit required, what medicine is required, whether the patient lives or not, I cannot predict. But my situation is see that the patient lives and that I work correctly. And if I'm not the right person, I take in more consultants and get more help. If I don't have the medicine, put it in place. उस टाइम ये नहीं मैं देखती ये मुझे मेडल लाएगा, ये जीतूंगी तो मेरा अखबार में नाम आएगा. No, I have to see my patient lives. That's all. No hidden agenda. And the patient मुझे पैसा देगा कि नहीं? No, that's not it. At the moment, patient needs treatment. जब patient ठीक हो जाएगा, we will come to other issues later. So I think the focus is as a surgeon with the patient.
Thank you. That's a very nice explanation. It's really inspiring to me. Thank you, madam.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. So now we would want Saiba to share her vote of thanks as we are running out of time. And Saiba, can you go ahead?
Thank you so much, Ashmeet. And ma'am, it's a privilege to have you on this platform. And since I've been given the vote of thanks, but I still want to share one small thing, what has inspired me throughout my career. My first job, and I took a day off to hear you at one of the sessions in person. And my ultimate aim was to shake hands with you. Right. So that was the only goal I went for that session. And what you spoke has helped me in my career in making the right choices. I have been able to manage challenges because you inspired me in such a way that I used to see opportunity in each challenge that came my way. So, ma'am, I have this platform to join my hands and thank you for how you have inspired not only me, I'm sure a lot of people on this forum and the nation as well. So, thank you so much, ma'am. And on behalf of AccuWare, also, I would like to thank you for sharing your valuable insights with every person here. And we've definitely crossed the time, and you only say people who do not take charge of their lives, their time lathi charges them. So we will not, take more time here. I think I would request everyone to please stand for the national anthem, and we'll end this note here.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for your time.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.